Picture this. It's 4:55 p.m. on a Friday. You've got your bag packed. You are mentally already at happy hour.
Oh, yeah.
And then your colleague, let's call him Dave, he walks up to your desk. Dave looks so stressed, he asks if you can take on just a small part of his project.
Just a tiny piece.
Right, and every single neuron in your brain is just screaming, no, absolutely not, I have plans. But then you hear your own voice, and it's all cheerful, saying, sure, Dave, I'd be happy to help.
And the second he walks away, that smile just drops from your face, your stomach is in knots, and you're staring at your screen just asking, why? Why did I do that?
Exactly. That split-second betrayal of yourself, we've all been there. But for some people, this isn't just a moment of weakness. It's a chronic, exhausting way of life. So today, we are doing a deep dive into the psychology of the people pleaser.
And we're not just talking about being, nice or agreeable. We're digging into the psychology that suggests this behavior is actually a trap. A prison of please, you could call it.
Yeah.
We're going to dissect why we do it, look at the toll it takes, and then stop.
Map out an exit strategy.
Exactly. An exit strategy.
This is basically your permission slip. If you've ever felt guilty for saying no, or if you feel like you're somehow responsible for everyone else's emotions, you need to stick around.
And if you know someone who fits that bill, that friend who apologizes when you bump into them, really hit that share button. They need this.
So let's start with the diagnosis. How do you tell the difference between just being a kind person and being a pathological people pleaser?
Well, there are actually diagnostic scales for this. One of them outlines 26 specific behaviors that are tied to this personality type. It's not a simple yes or no, it's a whole spectrum.
26? Wow, that seems like a really wide net.
It is, but the scoring is what's key. So if you identify with, say, fewer than 8 of these, you're probably just a polite person. You hold the door open, you're considerate, normal social behavior.
Okay.
But if you're ticking off between 9 and 17, that's where you get into long-term pleaser territory.
And what about above that?
18 to 26. Now you're in the extreme zone. And that's where it stops being a personality quirk and really starts to become a pathology that's actively disrupting your life.
Okay, so let's not list all 26, but let's hit the ones that really stand out, the big symptoms.
I'd say the biggest red flag is a catastrophic fear of refusal.
Yeah.
It's not just that you don't like saying no, it's a deep belief that if you say no, the relationship will just collapse.
It's an apocalyptic view of conflict, like no is a nuclear button.
Precisely. And then there's the physical side. People with these traits actually feel physically uncomfortable, even ill, when someone else is unhappy.
That's that emotional contagion you hear about?
On steroids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your partner's in a bad mood and bam, suddenly you're in a bad mood. You lose the boundary between their emotions and yours. You're a thermometer for the room, not a thermostat.
I love that analogy. Okay, but there was one symptom in here that really surprised me. Feeling guilty when someone treats you well. I mean, you'd think a people pleaser would love being pleased, right?
You would think. But the pleaser's whole system is built on giving to stay safe. When you receive, it creates a debt. It creates this low-grade anxiety. What do I owe them now? Did I really deserve that? Is there a catch?
It messes with their whole control mechanism.
It does. And the last one that hit home for me was the double standard. They hold themselves to these impossibly high moral standards. I must always be helpful, never a burden.
But they let everyone else off the hook for everything.
Yes, they're their own strictest judge and everyone else's public defender.
So if we boil this all down, what's the root cause? Why are we so willing to light ourselves on fire just to keep other people warm?
At its absolute core, psychology sees this as a form of self-abandonment. On the surface, it looks like altruism, like kindness. But if you dig into the profiling, it's a defense mechanism. It's about managing your own anxiety. You're not pleasing Dave because you're a saint.
You're pleasing Dave because you're terrified of the conflict that might happen if you don't.
That's the tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
It's not generosity, it's fear. A survival strategy that's gone haywire in the modern world.
Okay, let's get into the weeds then. We've pulled out 8 specific behaviors that really show how this machine works. I think this is where people are going to start seeing themselves. First one, the panic of refusal.
This is the classic, I just can't say no. But the why is what's important. The psychological profile suggests this is an inner child reaction.
Can you unpack that? Inner child gets thrown around a lot. What does it actually mean here?
Think about it biologically. When you're 5 years old, you are 100% dependent on your parents for survival. food, shelter, safety, everything.
Right.
So if your parents were, say, very authoritative or volatile or just emotionally distant, you learned a very simple, very dangerous equation. Refusal equals danger.
If I say no to mom, I might get yelled at. Or worse, ignored, abandoned.
Exactly. And to a child's brain, abandonment is death. So now, fast forward 30 years, you're an adult, your boss asks you to work late. Logically, you know you're not going to die if you say no.
Sure.
But your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, it doesn't get that memo. It reacts with that ancient 5-year-old panic. It feels like doom.
So you're not reacting as a 30-year-old professional, you're reacting as a terrified child.
Yes, and the fix, or part of it, is visualization. You have to consciously recognize that the panic belongs to the child version of you, but the adult you is safe. Saying no to a request isn't the same as saying, I reject you to the person.
That flows right into behavior number 2, blind agreement, the chameleon effect.
Right. This is where you just suppress your true opinions, your preferences, even what your body needs, just to blend in.
There was this story I read that's a perfect illustration, the apple incident.
Oh, the Apple story, yes. A classic.
Okay, so a friend goes to visit someone. The host asks, hey, would you like an apple? The friend actually hates apples, or maybe they're just not hungry, but that reflex kicks in.
Yes, please.
Exactly. So the host peels it, slices it up, puts it on a nice plate, and now the friend has to eat it to be polite.
And they're sitting there chewing this apple they despise and probably feeling resentful toward the host for making them eat it.
Why did you force this on me? Even though they literally asked for it.
And the host is totally oblivious. They think they're being nice. But there's a physical toll here. Chronic suppression, constantly eating the apple. It shows up on your body. You see it in people with those deep frown lines right between their eyebrows.
And that's not from anger.
Not always. It's often from the chronic tension of just holding up that mask all day, every day.
But the cost is bigger than just frown lines, isn't it?
The cost is intimacy. If you never disagree, if you never say, I actually hate apples, then nobody ever gets to know the real you. You're just presenting this agreeable shell.
A mirror.
A mirror.
Yeah.
And real intimacy needs friction. It needs two different people. If you're just reflecting them back at themselves, you are essentially a stranger in your own relationships.
Wow. Yeah. You're lonely because you've edited yourself out of your own life.
Okay, number 3 is a paradox, and this one feels harsh. The inability to ask for help. This is where it gets really interesting. You'd think a people pleaser is humble.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole vibe.
But the analysis suggests that the inability to ask for help is often this strange cocktail of deep inferiority and, surprisingly, narcissism.
Whoa, hold on. Narcissism. The people pleasers I know seem like the complete opposite of narcissists. That's a strong word.
It is, but we're talking about a very specific clinical meaning here. The inferiority part is easy to see. I'm not worth the trouble. I shouldn't bother anyone.
Right.
But the narcissism part is more subtle. It's the subconscious belief that the whole world is watching me, and if I ask for help and get rejected, it will be a public, catastrophic failure.
Ah, so it's the spotlight effect. You think your tiny request is the main event in everyone else's day.
Exactly. You're obsessed with how you're being perceived. There was this one extreme example, a woman with a 40-degree fever. That's over 104 Fahrenheit.
That's dangerous.
Yes. Very. And she needed medicine. She was dizzy, but she wouldn't wake her roommate or call her mom because she didn't want to be a burden. She ended up in the hospital. She literally risked her life to avoid a moment of potential awkwardness.
That's terrifying. But I think a lot of us can relate to that feeling of, I don't want to bother them.
And the fix is a reality check. If you ask for help and someone says no, it's almost never grand judgment on you. It's mechanical. They're busy, they're tired, they have a headache. The narcissistic part is believing their no is all about you.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's move to number 4, which is the flip side of this coin. The unsolicited savior, helping people who didn't even ask.
And then getting absolutely furious when they aren't grateful enough.
Ah, the martyrdom. After everything I've done for you.
And the other person is just thinking, I never asked you to organize my spice rack. I like my chaos.
It's a really tough dynamic. So what's the psychology behind that?
It's often a subconscious power play. When you are constantly saving someone, whether it's with money or advice or time, you are implicitly placing yourself in a position of power. You are the competent one. They are the helpless one.
So when they don't say thank you, or they even seem resentful, it's not just that they're ungrateful.
It's a defense of their own dignity. People can sense that subtle moral superiority, and they push back against it. Plus, you're not actually helping them grow. You're creating dependency. You're robbing them of the chance to solve their own problems.
That is a huge perspective shift. You think you're helping, but you might actually be crippling them.
You might be.
Okay, let's just pause here for a second. We've hit 4 big ones: the panic of refusal, blind agreement, the apple eater, the inability to ask for help, and the unsolicited savior. I'm just curious, for you listening, which one of those is making you squirm a little?
Usually the one that makes you the most defensive is the one you need to look at.
Exactly. And hey, if you're nodding along to this, now's a good time to hit subscribe to the deep dive. We unpack this kind of stuff every single week. And if you're feeling brave, drop a comment. Which number is your biggest struggle?
I'd be fascinated to see that.
Me too. Okay, let's move to number 5, living by script. This feels like the classic, I became a doctor because my parents wanted me to.
It is. It's the expectation trap.
Yeah.
But the insight here is a little darker than just trying to please mom and dad. It's actually a way to avoid taking responsibility for your own life.
How does that work?
Well, think about it. If I live my life exactly the way you tell me to, I take the job you approve of, marry the person you like, and then 10 years later, I'm miserable. Whose fault is it?
It's your fault. You told me to do it.
Exactly. Look what you made me do. Living by someone else's script is a way to preemptively shift the blame for any future unhappiness. It's a very clever, very subconscious safety net.
So to break free, you have to be willing to be the author of your own mistakes.
You have to be. True satisfaction comes from internal joy, not external applause. If you're miserable in a life that looks perfect on paper, guess what? You're still miserable.
Okay, number 6 brings in some evolutionary biology, which I always find fascinating. The primate smile.
This one is so cool. In our culture, we see a smile and think happiness. But in the primate world, a smile is not always about joy. If a lower status chimpanzee grins at a dominant alpha, it's a fear response.
It's a tell.
It's a tell. It signals, I am harmless, I am submissive, please don't hurt me.
So when we're in a situation where we feel uncomfortable, maybe with a boss who's being aggressive, and we have that frozen, plastered-on smile.
We are signaling submission, we are pleading for safety, and here's the kicker. We are still primates. Other people pick up on this subconsciously. They can tell a safety smile from a real one, and it actually signals deep insecurity.
So what's the alternative? Just scowl at everyone?
No, just a neutral face. The advice here is really powerful. It is okay to just have a face, a resting neutral face. It sets a boundary, says, I'm here, I'm calm, and I am not begging for your approval.
Resting neutral face as a power move. I love that. Okay, number 7, the suppression of anger.
People pleasers have this deep belief that good people don't get angry. They see anger as a fundamentally bad emotion. But you can't just delete an emotion. That energy doesn't just vanish.
It turns inward.
Yeah.
And this can actually make you physically sick, can't it?
Absolutely. The mind-body connection is undeniable. When you swallow your anger day after day, it creates chronic stress. Studies have linked suppressed emotions to all sorts of things. Thyroid problems, tension headaches, inflammatory issues. Your body keeps the score.
So the fix isn't to start yelling at everyone.
No, of course not. The fix is acknowledgement. Just observing the feeling, saying to yourself, I am angry right now, and I have a right to feel this way. That simple act stops the energy from turning inward and becoming toxic.
You're just validating your own reality. And finally, number 8, toxic self-blame. The relentless pursuit of perfection.
This goes back to the Jungian idea of the shadow. A people pleaser is trying to surgically remove their own dark side. They want to be pure light, pure kindness, pure generosity.
But that's not human.
It's impossible. We all have a shadow. We all have moments of selfishness or jealousy or laziness. It's part of the package.
So when they make one tiny mistake, they see it as a total failure of their character.
Relentlessly. They beat themselves up in a way they would never, ever treat a friend. The shift is to start practicing gratitude for your efforts, not just your perfect outcomes. You have to accept that you are a whole person, shadow included.
Wow. Okay. We have diagnosed this problem inside and out. We see the prison, and honestly, it's pretty scary how many of us are living in it. But we promised an exit strategy, the self roadmap.
Right. The self framework. It stands for self-observation, experience reality, limit setting, and formation of self. But we can break it down more simply. Step 1 is observation and acceptance.
So this is about stopping that spiral before it even begins.
Yes. The moment Dave asks for help and you feel that panic rise up, just stop. Pause. Don't answer him right away. Take a breath. Create a tiny gap between the trigger and your usual reaction. Don't fight the fear, just observe it. Oh, interesting. There's my fear of abandonment again.
You're stepping outside of the movie and just watching it for a second. Okay, step 2 is reality testing.
This is where you challenge that old story. You ask the hard questions. If I say no to this dinner party, will my friends actually abandon me forever? Will my entire world collapse?
And the answer is almost always no. They'll just call someone else.
Exactly. You're separating the childhood fear, Mom will leave me, from the adult reality. Dave will just ask Sarah.
Now, step 3 is my favorite because it's so practical. Establishing boundaries. This is where the fruit technique comes in.
I love this one. It's like training wheels for saying no. A blunt no can feel way too aggressive for a recovering people pleaser. It feels like you're launching an attack.
Yep.
So the fruit technique is about framing your refusal around your own personal, slightly weird habits.
The example from the reading was great. Instead of, no, I don't want an apple, you say something like, thanks so much, but I have this weird thing where I only eat fruit that I peel myself.
Exactly. It makes the no about your quirky rules, not about them or their kind offer. It depersonalizes the whole thing.
So in a work context, instead of, I can't do that project, it might be, I have a strict personal rule not to take on new tasks after 4 p.m. on a Friday so I can wrap things up properly.
Yes, I have a rule. It sounds objective. It protects your boundary while still respecting them. It's a softer way to start building that muscle until eventually you're comfortable enough to just say, no, I can't.
I'm using that. Okay, step 4 is self-affirmation, and this involves the mirror exercise.
This is exactly what it sounds like. You stand in front of a mirror, you look yourself in the eye, and you say, I am good enough.
Okay, I'll be honest, that sounds a little cheesy. A little Stuart Smalley.
It does. It feels awkward at first, but it's a way to actively reprogram your subconscious. But, and this is a crucial catch, you should only praise yourself for things you did for you.
Oh, that's a really important distinction.
It's everything. Don't look in the mirror and say, I'm a good person because I helped my boss today. That just reinforces the idea that your value comes from being useful.
So instead
you say, I am a good person because I took a 15-minute walk for myself today. Or, I'm good because I allowed myself to rest. You have to detach your self-worth from your utility to other people. You are not an appliance, you're a person.
Detaching worth from utility. That's powerful. And the final step, number 5, is integration.
This is the end goal. It's about merging that scared, insecure inner child with your confident, capable adult self. You reach a state of oneness where you're not at war with yourself anymore. You accept your needs, your boundaries, your shadow. You're not bad for saying no, you're just being honest.
It sounds like peace.
It is. And it brings us back to a really core philosophical idea about why we're even here.
Which is,
we are all here to learn our own lessons. And when you spend your entire life fixing other people, saving other people, pleasing other people, you are actively interfering with their lessons, and you are completely neglecting your own.
You're playing an extra in everyone else's movie instead of being the star in your own.
Beautifully put. There's a quote from the poet Rumi that it wraps this all up perfectly. You have wandered through thousands of worlds only to find yourself.
That's beautiful. We spend all this energy running around trying to please thousands of these little worlds, our bosses, our family, our friends, only to realize the person we were looking for, the one who actually needed our kindness, was right there in the mirror the whole time.
And that saying no to all of them is very often the first time you truly say yes to yourself.
If this deep dive resonated with you, do yourself a favor. Take one small step today. Say no to one tiny thing. Use the fruit technique. Blame it on a weird rule. And if you have that one friend who is just too nice for their own good, you know exactly who I mean, share this with them. It might just be the permission slip they've been waiting for their whole life.
Absolutely. It's time to break out of the prison.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next time with another deep dive.
Take care of yourself.